Last week we did a preview of what's happening this year, and we talked about the classes we had last year and the classes and business meetings we're having for the next 5-6 months. And so we want to talk about what happened in 2015. I remember when I did that little interview for the paper, Tony Adams asked me to use an adjective to describe the market, and the only one I could come up with was average. And I want to show you all some statistics to help you understand why I said that. Average is not bad. So, what are some marketing trends that we saw last year? And they've been around, but drones. People really started using drones last year. Matterport, the 3D tours. Instagram, people have been using that in 14, but Instagram's really kind of taken off in 2015, and especially folks are now trying to figure out how to use that to promote their business and things they're doing. And my favorite is the Closing Selfie. That's really become popular. And I don't know if you remember this. Does everybody remember Mobilegeddon? Google was not going to display your website in search results if it wasn't mobilely optimized. That was on 4/21/2015. So there's a huge push for all websites to be mobile, so that it showed up the same way on a mobile device as it did on your desktop. And that's something we did with our website too recently. So mobile won, y'all. There was always this debate about how many people are on mobile devices versus desktops, and it's now over 50% of people are viewing information on their mobile device. I mean, y'all all did it before this meeting started. You're viewing something on your mobile device. So, let's talk about 2014 versus 2015. And we're going to start off with the Phenix City market. This is Russell County and the portion of Lee County that our MLS covers.
That's for sure.
So 2014, average days on market was 144. And I'll email this to everybody after the meeting. And we'll post it on the site too. 2015, 129 days. So days on market dropped by about 10%, which is good. The average sold price is really unchanged. Very little change there. Total units sold. This is number of houses. I did not include raw land, but it actually went up 8.6%. So that's encouraging. That's good news. Almost. Phenix City used to be that market was a little over 1,000 units a year, so it's getting close to that again. This was kind of puzzling. I don't have a real explanation for this. In 14, the hottest price range, where you have the most number of homes that sold, was between 200 and 250,000. In 15, it was between 120,000 and 160,000. So, people buying less expensive homes. But in that market, only 4 homes sold over $500,000. So let's look at Columbus. Now, I included Muskogee County and Harris County. There weren't that many sales in Stewart and Chattahoochee County. We look at 2014 days on market. We're almost 150. We've gone down by 20%. That's great. So marketing's tightening up. The average sold price was $168,000. In 15, it was $171,000. That's why I said it was average. When you look at Phenix City and Columbus, NAR gives the national average of 5 to 6% of appreciation in value, and we're not seeing that. Total number of units sold in our market in Columbus is really unchanged, about the same number of units. So when you add that up, it's about 3,100 units in the market that most of y'all serve. Now, I originally started out at homes just over $750,000, but to give you a fair comparison, in Muskogee County and Harris, there are 46 homes that sold over $500,000. So, you know, not bad. If you're between 500 to 750, that was 36 sales. Is that right? Yeah. No, 33 sales, and only 13 over 750. And I believe only 3 of those were over $1 million. So still, if you've got a property listed for over $1 million in Harris County or Muskogee County, you really need to look at those absorption rates, because there might be 2 or 3 years worth of inventory on the market. Now that baby boomers are, some are starting second careers, third careers, some are retiring. We've got a lot of data on baby boomers, and we know that the millennials are larger than the baby boomers, but they haven't really had an impact on the housing market yet. And there's lots of studies as to why that is. And everybody wants to know is, are millennials gonna sleep on the sofa forever or in the basement, or go out and buy their own house? What can we do to get millennials to own a home or invest in real estate? And as rents increase, that's going to put more pressure on millennials to really think about, well, if I can afford to pay $1,200 a month to live somewhere, can I qualify to own something for that or less? And we know that most people aren't going to stay in the same house for 6 to 7 years, especially people under the age of 35. I haven't stayed in a house for more than 6 years myself. And I'm hoping that we're going to stay in our current house for at least 10. But millennials want to travel, they want to do things. And the way the economy works now, you don't have to stay in the same place for an extended period of time. So how do we get them to invest in real estate? We know that a problem is savings. The average millennial has $25,000 in student loan debt, and they're employed, might be saving some money by staying with friends or family. But I've been thinking about this, and how do we get them to start saving and to look at real estate as an investment? Not an investment that they have to make, but if we could educate them on how to purchase a home that they do not intend on living in for the rest of their life, but they intend on living there for a year or two, and then they can rent out to other friends, they can have other people putting money in their savings account. Because any of y'all that have purchased real estate, you know that it takes a long time before you can actually live off the money or revenue that property is generating. You got a service debt, you've got expenses. The goal is to have someone paying those expenses for you. And then in 10, 15 years, maybe that property's paid off and now it's really cash flowing. But a lot of millennials have good jobs. If we can convince them to invest in real estate, maybe live there for a year or two, and if they move on, we know that that property is one that can easily be rented to someone else. Now they have a tenant covering their expenses and building a savings account for them. Because we all know that if you really want to get ahead, you've got to have some savings put aside for later in life. It's very, very important. And it's our job to help educate them on this. You think about 5 years from now, the average millennial will be 30 to 35 years old. They will hopefully have been in the workforce for maybe 8 to 10 years. That average income is going to go up considerably. Their average income, I think right now, is in the 40s. If you have someone 30 to 35 years old that's making $70,000 to $80,000 a year, and you haven't grabbed onto them to help guide them through this thing we call life and how to make smart investments, they might be buying 2 or 3 homes. And they're going to have a huge impact on the economy. But instead of waiting for them to make a decision themselves, we need to try to educate them on that process. And that's things you can do with blogging, talking to them, going to events, using video to explain the process, introducing them to a very well educated lender, is familiar with the process, can help them meet those goals. But it's been average here. And if we don't have more people moving to our area and businesses expanding, we're still going to be teetering around 3,000 potential transactions that you can be involved with every year. And that's not bad, because a lot of y'all, as you're going to see next week at our awards breakfast, have really expanded your business, and we are so proud of y'all. It's exciting to see what y'all have done in a market where the opportunities for sales has not increased. You've made yourself more attractive, and you've attracted business from other agents who didn't do a good job keeping up with their clients. And I said this in the paper too. I never want to run a business whose main goal is to try to attract business from other businesses. You know, we all need to come together and find a way to help our market grow. But if we look at the real data, and that's what we've got, a lot of people aren't moving here. That sales number has been stuck at 3,000 for several years. So understanding that, we've got to educate some people here on how they can participate in real estate. And they will really see the benefits 5, 10 years from now. And then they'll come back for another transaction, and another, and another. One of my favorite quotes is, just because you ignore the facts doesn't change the facts. These are the facts. When you add up Columbus and Phenix City, around 3,000 transactions a year. So you got to look at how many transactions you were involved with, and if that number is going to be stuck at 3,000, which it probably will be for this year, for 16 as well, how can you pick up a few more deals a year? And that's by educating people that aren't participating in the market right now. And the millennials represent a huge opportunity for you to do that. And it doesn't matter how young or how experienced you are. In fact, some millennials like working with a more experienced agent because of their experience and their guidance. So think about that. How can you help more consumers invest in real estate that aren't doing so now? They want to. They're looking for answers, but they need someone to help educate them on that process and help them understand how they can participate in it. And if you do that, they will stick with you for years and years and be very successful.